I'm Nikki Jean. We're in the basement of SOBs. It's CMJ right now. I'm here with JohnSimonDaily.com. You are too.
So we're here with Nikki Jean in CMJ and Soul Village. How are you?
I'm so good right now.
So you released an album, Pennies in a Jar, this summer.
Indeed.
This is you birthed the baby in a sense. Tell us a little bit about the project and how it came about and its journey to being on a shelf and being in people's hands and you performing.
I do feel like I birthed the baby. Like, can you imagine? Remember when this was just a twinkle in my eye? I love great songs, and if you love great songs, you kind of have to, by extension, love great songwriters. So, out of a deep, abiding love for them, I went around the country and wrote with the most amazing songwriters alive in the country. So everyone from Bob Dylan to Burt Bacharach, Carole King, Tom Bell, Barry Mann and Cynthia Wilde, Jeff Berry, Luigi Creatore, Jimmy Webb, Paul Williams,
wow.
Carly Simon. You just never want to leave anyone off. That's
right.
What I know for sure. Like,
right.
You just don't ever want to leave anyone off. Bobby Braddock, and so many more. And these are the songs that made the record on Pennies in a Jar. Took 3 years.
Wow.
Hardship, label woes. That's not a new story, but being able to work with your heroes kind of is a new story. So I'm really honored to have had the opportunity and to live to tell the tale, so to speak.
What did you learn about yourself in 3 years? You can definitely go through so many ups and downs and changes. What did you learn about yourself in the process, personally and also creatively?
I'm tougher than I thought I was. I'm also better than I thought I was. It's the right thing to do to approach a situation like this with a great amount of humility because you're dealing with legends. But sometimes I would get in front of them and they'd be like, yeah, like, you're good. Why can't you believe you're good? Like, if that's the craziest thing when I look back and I'm like, why did it take 12 Hall of Fame songwriters to be like, yo, you're all right, for me to be like, maybe I am. So that was a revelation to me, like, you know, just having a little belief in myself. But I always had the perseverance, and that was a nice surprise to be like, oh wow, this is taking way longer. It's way harder, and you know, I'm pleased that I never gave up. So that's what I really learned.
Now I know your claim or what you gave your name as just being on Lupe Fiasco's Hip Hop Saved My Life. How did that kind of launch and just change your perspective on the industry and how people see, you know, did you feel like you had to, okay, who am I now? Are people expecting a hip hop save my life all the time? Or?
Yeah, they are, right? They are. But what's interesting is I was never a hip hop artist. I was never an R&B artist. I was always a girl who sat at the piano and wrote songs and sang. So I'm grateful that Lupe, who knew what I am, was like, okay, I still want you on my record, and you know, gave me that experience and took me around the country and exposed me to amazing things, you know, like playing in Madison Square Garden and touring on a huge level. And it was just such a gift, it was such a blessing. And I have found that expectations, you know, you try and manage expectations in other people, but the best you can ever do is just be true to yourself, be true to your craft. And it sounds so cliche, and it may not make you rich, but it will probably make you happy. So that's what I'm on about.
What inspires you?
Oh, I just love to write songs. I love to write songs, and as much as I talk, I'm still a very poor communicator on a very emotional, deep level of myself. I'm still not good at telling people how I feel, and songs are that vehicle for me. It's like, oh, I can't express myself. Wait, I can. And I sit down at the piano and pick up a guitar, and then I feel like myself.
What was the first song Nikki Jean ever wrote?
Oh my gosh. Well, I wrote this one song when I was 14, and it said, darling, darling, say that that you love me. Tell me you'll think of me. Tell me you've been true. Darling, darling, hold me for a lifetime, if only for a slight time. Darling, 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 dear.
Wow.
That's
wow.
my earliest remembered song.
What is the creative process for you when you're writing a song? Do you have to listen to the music first, or get the, or hear a word?
No, it's all internally generated. A lot of times the music and the words will come together at the same time. Particularly, I really like to write away from an instrument more than anything, because then I'm not being influenced by the chord structures that I naturally lean to, like the muscle memory in my fingers that are like, or on guitar, like, I only know this many chords, so it's got to be one of them. You know, when you're just walking around and a melody comes to you, it tends to be more free.
Right.
And I just love to have a muse. I love having something that inspires me, and then be like, creating from that place.
Connect it with your friends, you know, your fans through that.
I disagree. I disagree, because I feel like I've connected with people and they are fans of what?
Okay.
Because they became fans. They're fans of, fans of the blog.
Right.
Which is different than being fans of the music.
Right, right.
So on some level, I think that it's been very helpful for me to take a step back to allow the music to kind of speak for itself, and allow me to attract people who are interested in what I actually do.
Right.
Instead of people who are like, oh, can you just be cute some more? And it's like, I was buying time. Not that cute. Like, I just didn't have a record done.
Right,
I was
right.
done.
Right.
And I want to talk about music. I'm a serious artist. And they're like, no, you're just cute. And so it's like,
but I think, you know, I remember seeing your video blog when you were actually signing your first record.
That was cool.
Yeah, and so it was just, for me, when you signing your first record deal, for me it was touching to see, because it was authentic. It was something that you hardly ever see. That first, you know, I'm actually signing a document. I'm actually, you know, getting this launching pad, and you always just read about it, but to see it, it's a different kind of feel. And then to see how happy you were and excited you were, it was kind of cool to see.
Here's the thing, though. People think they want reality, but they don't. Yeah. And that's why even in reality television, they have producers behind the scenes, like pulling the strings to make sure the action and the storyline and everything is good.
Right.
People like an underdog, but they like an underdog that wins.
Right.
Nobody likes a loser.
Right, right.
So whereas it's fun to see somebody sign their deal, it's not fun to watch them day after day not have a single come out, not have a record come out, get dropped, get picked up by a smaller label. It doesn't ring true with, it's only exciting after the fact, like.
But it's the journey. You know, for someone,
it's my journey.
Yeah, it's
true that it's my journey.
Yeah.
And I love my journey, because I love where I am. But it wasn't helpful.
Right.
It remains. You know, if we look at the blog as something that inspired people, maybe it did. If we look at the blog as something that I started to further my career, it was ultimately a failure. The hits never ever met the level of surpassing the actual danger that I put myself in and having people in my home. So, like, I had a stalker and everything else. It never, the blog didn't change my life in any meaningful way.
Right.
So I hope, my only hope is that it changed someone else's life in a meaningful way. The other thing the blog did was cement in people's mind this idea that I'm a cute, adorable person.
Right.
Which I love people, and I love to make people smile. But I'm a good songwriter.
Right.
And that's been ultimately also overshadowed by my blog. So we don't blog anymore. And you know, do I miss making people smile every day? I just hope that I can make them smile with my music now, because I'm not, my calling in life wasn't to blog. My calling in life is to write songs.
What is it like performing in New York? Because you're originally from Minnesota, and you're currently based in Philly.
Yes.
New York is like this hub of everything. So what is it like performing, not just in New York, but a part of CMJ, here at SOBs?
I think that all is, if you dwell on it, could be a surface disturbance, when ultimately, every time I sit down at the piano or perform in front of people, the idea is to get the intent of the song and in touch with the energy that was in the air when I made the song out to the people. And so it's just good always, no matter where you are, especially when you're someplace where there's a lot going on, to remember why you're here, like, you're here to make some music.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Happy. Happy, smiling. People see me knitting, singing a song, they'll be like, she's so cute. And I'll be like, happiness, peace of mind, making music, walking my path. That's my only desire every year.
Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me.
Awesome.